Where would you take your art for a weekend getaway?
Can I go overseas?
You can.
Oh.
You can do whatever you want. Money, no object.
I was going to say Italy, but if money's no object, like space would be kind of cool. Like a SpaceX little mission. I don't know, orbit the Earth or something.
When did you first notice your art?
I'm not sure when I first noticed my art, but I guess I sort of first noticed drawing pretty early on as a kid. I remember Dad drawing a really crappy little, well, not crappy, it was actually a beautiful sort of thing. But he drew a Concorde with a ruler on a piece of paper, and it was just it was almost like Roger Ramjet sort of style jet. And I still remember the sort of feeling of watching this thing just appear on paper out of nothing. I was like, oh wow, that's really cool. And then also in year 2, this is like deep early childhood.
I love it. Take us back.
Like Ratatouille. There was a kid in year 2 who was a really good drawer, or through my little eyes then, he was a really good drawer. And he'd draw like Flash Gordon and stuff. There was a cartoon on TV of Flash Gordon. And he was a way better drawer than me. And I remember sort of seeing his drawings, and I remember wanting to be as good at drawing as he was. And you know, when you see like a year 2 kid's drawings, they're pretty lo-fi. So I'd actually but through my eyes at the time, they were tight, like really good little drawings. So I'd love to see what they actually really look like. So that's when I first sort of noticed drawing and creativity, I guess.
When you noticed it, and then to where you are today, was it a slow burn or was it hot and fast?
I guess it was a slow burn. I mean, I never really considered art as a thing. I just always loved drawing. Just sort of, I just sit at the kitchen table and draw things and little battle scenes or characters and, or, you know, copying things out of Mad Magazine or off the TV or comics, cartoons in the newspaper or whatever. But yeah, I never really considered it as art with a capital A, I guess. It was just something that always fascinated me.
How long were you dating with your practice before you committed fully?
I think we're still dating. I don't know. She's cruel. She might be gaslighting me. Who knows?
She's gaslighting you.
Yeah.
What makes you say that?
I don't know. Well, sometimes it's a funny sort of thing with art. I mean, I don't know. Like, I still think of myself very much as emerging, and time goes so fast. I mean, I'm nearly 50 now, which is crazy. It's like, oh, yeah. And then some people, when you go for a prize or something, and it's like, oh, mid-career. It's like, am I mid-career? I don't feel like I'm mid-career at all. Yeah, so, yeah, we're still dating.
You're still dating? Yeah. Oh, my God.
I mean, I like to think I'm all in and betrothed, I suppose.
She just won't say yes.
She just won't say yes. God damn it.
Mole.
What a mole. I'll keep trying. Yeah.
How do you think...
She's gorgeous.
She's just so beautiful.
Yeah, amazing.
How do you think you'll know when she's committed, when she's fully committed?
I don't know. I'm not sure if I ever will. But I guess that's the sort of beauty of it as well. You know, there's, yeah, definitely being gaslit now that I think about it. Yeah, but the more we go, the more we sort of come together, and there's always beautiful things happening and developing, I guess. I don't think it's something you can really tie down with a wedding ring.
So you could try.
You can try. Yeah, I am trying. Yeah, no, happy dating.
Have you had to give anything up to be committing to your practice, or to be committed to your practice?
Well, yeah, on a serious note, I think it's taken a lot of sacrifice, actually. Yeah, I've had relationships sort of fail. I've left jobs. That's all I want to do, really, which is kind of crazy, but it's just one of those things that makes me really happy, and subconsciously, I guess it's 90% of what I think about. Yeah, watching TV, chatting to my partner, it's like, oh yeah, and it's like, oh, what am I going to do? Should I make that purple or green? I don't know. It's...
I love that. Like, even in the dance of the commitment and the non-commitment, you're like, it's what I want to do. It's all I think about.
Yeah, well, it's all I really care about. It's definitely the thing I'm best at doing. And it's just such a wonderful thing. I mean, I just can't imagine sort of a life without it.
What's the craziest thing you've done for your art?
Craziest thing I've done for my art? I don't know. I think everything I sort of do for my art is pretty crazy. I mean, it's hard to think of any, well, I don't know, leaving relationships, I guess. Like, you know what? I'm out. I just need to focus on this kind of thing. I think art just makes you do crazy things. The pursuit of this ethereal kind of thing, there's like a light at the end of the tunnel. I don't know, I guess every artist has goals and dreams and aspirations of, like where your heroes are, and, like a beautiful book or, a show in a awesome institution. There's all these sort of things, and it's like, they're not impossible, like these people also, all your heroes come from somewhere, they have the same sort of beginnings, like roots in the mud. It's like, well, the further you go, the closer it sort of seems, so you just keep going, yeah.
I find it really interesting when you talk about your heroes and you can see where they've gotten to. Do you feel you're on the path to getting to where they are?
Maybe not to getting where they are, but I feel like I'm on a path that's sort of working for me. Like, it's definitely getting somewhere, which is just beautiful. And, it's really nice to, you get in prizes or you have a show, or when someone buys one of your works, I mean, they're not cheap, and it's a purely aesthetic sort of thing. So, I don't have a great deal of money, and so when someone pays good money for something that you've created out of nothing, it's like, that's the best. Yeah. That's amazing. You want to live with that as much as I do? Like, that's just the coolest thing. Yeah. And that keeps you going. It's like, oh wow, cool, maybe I'm doing something right. That's awesome.
Have you ever cheated on your art?
Never. I'd never cheat on my art.
Has she ever cheated on you?
Probably. Yeah, many times. I'm such a fool. She's everything. Yeah, if anything, I've sacrificed a lot for art, and the further you go, the deeper you get, and you just waist deep in the mud of it all. I'll do anything for her.
How do you woo your art to get back connected to it?
I think recently actually I've had this sort of dilemma, because I had as I was saying to you earlier, and I won't go into too many details, but my year got off to a pretty sketchy start, and there's this romantic idea of sort of art being this beautiful sort of salvation and release and stuff, but it takes a lot of energy to think about art and make art, and a lot of time and effort and money. I've found myself having to remind myself just about how much pleasure it gives me to make art. Like, I find myself often reminding myself how much I love doing it, like as a kid, like drawing at the table, before there was any like interviews or economics involved, and galleries and politics and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, just the pure joy of creating things is something I need to remind myself about sometimes, to really get back in there and find the joy in it again.
And connect back in.
Yeah, connect with it again, and without any of the pressures or constraints that adult life brings. to it.
Last question. What's your top tip for keeping the passion alive in the studio?
Ooh, well, as I was just saying, I think the main thing is just to keep creating things. And I mean, recently I've just sort of gone off one path that I'd sort of been doing that kind of helped establish my practice, I guess, in sort of the public eye, I suppose. But the beauty of art for me is it's boundless. Like, I don't want to be making the same thing for 20 years. I've got a head full of ideas. Ideas always come. And I think it's really important to follow those ideas. And if it's a break from your usual aesthetic, great. Like, explore that, and it could lead you down. I mean, there's so many forks in the road that you encounter. And you've really just got to scratch those itches, I think, and it can really lead you to really cool things.
And keep the fire ignited.
Keep the fire burning. Yeah, raging, ideally. Yeah.
Phil James, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Willie. It's a pleasure.